Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to our Gold Experience C1 classes. This is the last class before Easter. Yeah, we are having a break, but no relaxing, hey? I'm going to be giving you some work, okay? Those of you that sent me the email address, I shall send you a practice test, okay? Also, if you haven't already, send me that report from the first week. I would also recommend, for those of you with your books, okay, at the front page you'll see that there is a mobile app that you can download, and then using the number here, register, and you've got lots of really useful practice to do over the Easter week, and indeed these next few weeks while we're not back in the academy. Really important to keep on practicing. Much better to do a little bit every day than to wait a long time, then do a lot. So try and keep doing a little bit every day. And of course, checking out our website and the videos. And get in touch with me if you have any questions. Today we're looking a little bit at, how can we talk it? Lying. Okay? Not saying things exactly how they are. There's an expression about when you don't say everything that there is to say, or you hide the complete truth. It's an expression, being economical with the truth. Being economical with the truth, not saying everything, okay? Yes. Remember, economical, not, is a euphemism really. It's a kind of a more polite way of saying lying. So, what kind of occupations do you think it's very common for people to be economical with the truth? Yeah, I guess the most obvious one that people think about are politicians. Okay? Some people say that lawyers are economical with the truth for the interests of their clients. Depends on the lawyer, I guess. Salespeople, advertising executives may perhaps not tell you all of the things about their product. They'll only tell you the good, not necessarily the bad. Do you think this is an ethical thing to do, or is it just part and parcel? Is it just a fundamental part of their job? Remember that expression, part and parcel? A basic element of their job? I don't know. Well, we're going to listen to a girl talking about playing board games, surprisingly enough. Well, what's the connection to being economical with the truth? Well, why don't we listen to the girl? She's talking about playing games with somebody. Yeah, well, you'll listen. Have you ever played a board game with somebody like the person she describes?
I must have been a nightmare to play against when I was a kid. We often played Monopoly as a family, and I loved it. And the reason I loved it was because I loved winning. And the reason I won was, yeah, you guessed it, I cheated. I never really considered the ethical aspect to it, or that I was in any way deceiving people on purpose, but I guess I was. It was my granddad who first let me in on the secrets of how to cheat successfully at card games. The most important thing being not to let your face betray you. From then on, there was no stopping me. In Monopoly, I always liked to be the banker. Easy to secrete money when no one was looking, and I developed a real skill at sleight of hand. Then, when I was older, I progressed to cheating at Trivial Pursuit. My mum was amazed at how much I knew. I pretended to think carefully for a moment before answering, but in reality, I was reading the answers upside down on the back of the question cards she was holding. And now, well, better not to ask.
Okay. Are you one of those people? Or have you ever played with somebody, maybe in your family or a friend, who, let's say, uses not exactly honest ways of winning? Okay, well, let's listen again and complete the sentences from exercise 3. Here are some verbs that we can use when talking about lying and deceiving and so on. Okay, so listen again and complete the sentences.
I must have been a nightmare to play against when I was a kid. We often played Monopoly as a family, and I loved it. And the reason I loved it was because I loved winning. And the reason I won was, yeah, you guessed it, I cheated. I never really considered the ethical aspect to it, or that I was in any way deceiving people on purpose, but I guess I was. It was my granddad who first let me in on the secrets of how to cheat successfully at card games. The most important thing being not to let your face betray you. From then on, there was no stopping me. In Monopoly, I always liked to be the banker. Easy to secrete money when no one was looking, and I developed a real skill at sleight of hand. Then, when I was older, I progressed to cheating at Trivial Pursuit. My mum was amazed at how much I knew. I pretended to think carefully for a moment before answering, but in reality, I was reading the answers upside down on the back of the question cards she was holding. And now, well, better not to ask.
Okay, so number 1, deceiving. Yes, deceiving. I was deceiving people on purpose. Number 2, cheat. Yeah, cheat. Number 3, not to let your face betray you. Okay. Number 4, pretended. Okay, so there we have them. Okay, so deceive somebody, yes. Make somebody believe that something is, in this case, not true, when in fact it is. Cheat, okay, to act in a dishonest way to gain an advantage. There's an expression there, not let your face betray you. If you don't let your face betray you, you keep it maybe straight when you're feeling excited. Okay, to betray. And pretend, remember in English, pretended refers to the behaving in a way that something is not true when you know it is true. Okay, and in order to deceive people, usually, well, very often in fun. Okay, or maybe because you don't want to do something, like you don't want to go to school, you have an exam, so you pretend you've got a headache when really you haven't. Okay, so many words might have similar meanings, but there are differences. Okay, so for example, we can see there we've got honest and above board, very similar words. Above board, we'll talk about an action, maybe it's all above board, it's all legal, it's all respectable. Honest is perhaps more general, talks about an honest person. Okay, similar meaning, but maybe we use it slightly differently. If we look at part 4, here are 5 sentences with words in bold. If you want to, use a dictionary or your mobile phone to check the meaning of the words. Okay, remember, make sure you're looking at whether it's a verb as well. For example, number 3, forge, could be a noun or a verb. Okay, we're looking at it as a verb here. What is the meaning of each of these words? Okay, put them in the correct group A, B, C, D and E below. Okay, and then we'll check and look. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, good. So we've got 4 words then have a similar idea. The base idea is lie. Okay, a noun for something that's not true. Lie. Lie. Bluff. A bluff, it can also be a word, to bluff, is to similar to pretend, but we use it like a tactic in a game. Okay, in poker, we want to make the other person think we've got a very good group of cards, but really we haven't. We are bluffing. Okay, falsehood. Okay, which is perhaps similar to lie, but a bit more formal. And finally, fib. From number 4, a small fib. A fib is, it's like a not important small lie. Okay. Next one. B. We've got disguise. Impersonate. These are all verbs fake and forge. Okay, I think we can see they're quite different. Or